Perhaps even balls.
I don't know where the fuck Pasta Man went. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just start. Are we ready?
Alright.
Might as well. Hi, this is more. Oh, hey, Pasta Man.
There you are, Pasta Man. How you doing?
I have got to change this PFP. I just noticed.
Well, change it after we're done with this.
You're a
True,
sick
true.
fuck. You like a quick fuck.
Griffith
That's
is.
true.
Griffith is.
That was
indeed.
Griffith did. He did do that.
True, true, true.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All
Was
this-
a
True,
sick fuck
true,
who enjoyed
true.
a quick fuck, perhaps.
Truth nuke activated.
All right, time to talk about the part of Berserk that is very
awesome.
fun, very cool, very great. No, it genuinely is like the most tragic moment in the entirety of Berserk. So I mean, kind of just picking up where the previous one left off, or the part we were at in the last video is essentially like, as you know, Griffith slept with the princess.
Laying some pipe.
Yeah, with well, he was an adult and she was a minor, which I mean, you know,
Not cool.
that we do
It's
not
very-
condone.
It's period appropriate.
Watching the Princess Charlotte scene and shaking my head repeatedly, so you know I'm against it.
I'm
Yeah.
getting the feeling this Griffith guy is a little problematic.
So basically, this is the beginning of the end for the Golden Age arc, and it's very interesting how the little details set up in the Black Swordsman arc are all starting to come into fruition. And like you're starting to kind of see where this is going. I should probably make a layout for this, but basically, already from the get-go, we kind of do like a little time skip, and the 90s anime skips over a lot of stuff. The movies too. The movies try to imply more of it, but it still skips over a lot of things that happen in the manga. So I'm going to kind of go into that. It's basically like as soon as Griffith gets captured, the king is very unhappy, as you can guess. But he's like weirdly, like a little too upset about this. Like, you know, it's obviously like it's normal to be upset that he would do that. He would sneak into your princess's chambers and do that. But like the level of anger that the king directs at Griffith is way too much. And we come to find that the reason for that is because he has lustful feelings for his own daughter.
Yeah. Not revealed
Like
in
I
the
said,
anime,
period
but
appropriate.
in the manga.
And like shortly after the incident, he like goes to scold his daughter, but then she's indecent, and so he well, he tries, he doesn't succeed, but he tries to force himself on her, which
And after that, he kind of like sobers up and realizes what the fuck he's doing, and he's just like, "Wow, okay, this is not cool. I'm just gonna leave."
I think
Bro didn't think that. Did bro think it was cool before he did it?
I think what's interesting about the king is that up until this point, he seemed so chill. He just seemed like a chill guy. Like most of the scenes involving the king were just him. He would like approach them, and then they would be all formal, like, "Oh, your majesty," and they'd bow, and he'd be like, "Oh, stop that. Like, you know, like just talk to me like I'm your friend." So he seemed like super cool up until that point. Just a bro, and then this kind of hits you like a truck, and it's like, damn, okay. I didn't know he got freaky like that.
Yeah, I don't remember like what happened in the manga like precisely, but didn't he have kind of like a weird complex going on with his dead wife?
Yeah, I think it's just I feel like maybe it comes from Just
Yeah.
his daughter looks like a younger version of his wife, so it's like a
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was less about like the daughter herself, and it was more like him
Yeah, it was
still being
more
hung
like,
up on the queen that passed away.
yeah,
it's just like, as disturbing as the scene is, it does give a lot of depth to the king, and also kind of reinforces that theme of false idols that's been kind of permeates all throughout Berserk, and will not be going away anytime soon. It's very important in the next arc, the Conviction arc.
Every
But
person in power is a sex offender.
or some sort of freak that tortures people, or like, either way,
Nero
the
was ahead of his time, for real.
the man that so like the king, this betrayal of his trust brings him such distress, and he's kind of so deluded in his just selfish feeling. I mean, like, again, like it is understandable that Griffith needs to be punished for this, but like the way he does it is just too far. I mean, they do all sorts of shit to Griffith. Like, there's a video going into like how grisly the tortures were.
yeah.
They would
like fucking
burn needles and stab him with them. Like, cut out his tongue. Like,
That was some of the hardest to like watch moments in the series, which is saying a lot. And like when they find him later, and he's like his tendons have been cut so he can't move. It's awful.
they starved him so much that like he looks like basically
he's basically
meat
a fucking skeleton at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this character that's been like in control, we've like looked up to him this whole time, and he's just at his lowest, as low as you could possibly be.
So
He's lower than low.
Because up
terrible.
until that point, Griffith has been looked up as if he's like more than human. Griffith has been like he
Yeah.
has this charisma, he has this strength, he has this, and I don't mean this in the meme way, but like an aura to him that it makes him seem like he's beyond human. But then this happens, and you're painfully reminded that he's just as human as the rest of us.
yeah, I mean, what he did was super irresponsible. And like the fact that he spent the night there too, and instead of sneaking out, like, just
Super
shows you
arrogant.
just kind of how he wasn't really thinking. Like, he wasn't really there. He didn't plan to do this. It just was a moment of vulnerability, and partially him trying to pursue his dream in his own way.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I think it is because he was so emotionally rattled by Guts leaving him, that he thought to comfort himself by doing something that would further his goal. Because ultimately his goal is to, one day
Something that
become
make
king.
him feel like he's in control.
Yeah, but also something that like he wants to really seal the deal with Charlotte because of what he's not having sex with her because he is genuinely in love with her or anything. It's what she can give him.
He just knows that if he plays his cards right with her, and if she falls in love with him, then that will help further his ambitions. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
And I think in his like emotionally distraught like state, and he felt, okay, I'm feeling like crap right now. I'm gonna do something that's gonna help me reach my goal.
Yeah.
But because he did it in that emotionally unstable state, he fucking made a huge mistake. He wasn't thinking things through. And it was just a coping mechanism for him to not have to like think about what Guts did to him. And it backfired, not just in how it was a huge mistake and he fucked himself over, but also like even during the act, Like the whole time in the manga, it's not revealed in the anime, but in the manga, the whole time Griffith was just thinking about Guts. Like so it backfired
Actually, I'm
in
pretty
every
sure it
conceivable
was
way.
revealed in the anime because, like, he thought about Guts the entire time, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
there were some
anime
shots of
the
Guts.
anime only conveys it in like one or two shots, but we know the Berserk manga gets a little freaky with it, and will every single sex scene in Berserk is thorough, and it shows you every little bit of it. The which is like, I mean, the Guts and Casca sex scene goes on for like several chapters, and
But
unfortunately, the sexual assault
Se-
at the end of this arc is also very, very detailed in the manga. But we'll get to that when we get there.
but yeah, but like the entire time Guts was like just running through his mind like all the things that Guts told him, and I think for him he was thinking about like things that Guts told him that may have been a comfort at one point, but now because Guts left him, he looks back on what Guts said in a different way. Like he now thinks of it almost as if Guts was mocking him, as if Guts, like what Guts said didn't have like the same sentimental value to it. Like now it's almost as if Guts was um like taunting him,
Yeah, and
I
even though
think if
that's
I
not
remember,
true. That's just how now he chooses to see it.
if I remember, like later, near the end of this arc, he said something like that Griffith was the only person who ever, or Guts was the only person who ever like distracted him from his dream.
Yes.
Uh,
yeah. So
and
the
I feel
quote.
like that totally. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the quote is like, out of the tens of thousands of soldiers and the tens of thousands of enemies, you were the only one that obscured the vision of my dream.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can totally see how that plays into this moment in Griffith's like arc because when he loses Guts, he almost like overreacts, he
Yeah,
becomes like excessively ambitious and that
yeah.
becomes his downfall
And
because he doesn't really think things through.
yeah, which usually he
And he's
always thinks
normally a very
everything
careful.
through.
Yeah, normally he's like very careful.
Yeah,
But this is
but
just a
like he
huge
just,
lapse.
yeah, he just lost his biggest pawn and also friend, even if he doesn't realize it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's complex because it's like, I kind of noticed that Griffith's empathy is weird. He only seems to extend empathy to people who are of lower class. Everyone else,
Yeah,
it's like I think that played into why he saved Casca. I think that played
yeah. He
into
had,
why he
yeah,
was
he
hurt.
had like a lower class background growing up, right?
Yes, and
Yes.
Right. So
I
he's
think that
probably
played.
thinking of people who grew up the same way he did, but now that he's up here on this ivory pedestal, it's free game.
Yeah, but he. I think it's why he was so bothered by that boy that died. But for some reason, he didn't care um, when Adonis died in Guts' botched mission, and he didn't care, or he was willing to threaten the life of a royal boy to force the, I forget his name all the time, but the egghead guy to do his bidding. Like, he literally kidnaps his family and threatens them. So it seems like he has this weird, flimsy sort of empathy where he only feels empathetic towards lower class children. But when it
I
comes
think
to
I think it's
children,
because I think it's because he sees himself in those children.
yeah.
Yeah. I
And I
mean, I
think,
think part of like, why he shows empathy to some people but not others is like a little bit of like cognitive dissonance. Because I think he does empathize with a lot of people, but he has this like, he has his dream, and those come into conflict with each other, and sometimes, one of them wins out.
yeah. But it's like, it's interesting because you think of what he does in the Eclipse, and then you think of the Charlotte scene in particular is like kind of had a disturbing tone, because I feel like even if she did not love him and she had said no, I don't think he would have taken no for an answer. Um, and so when I think of the scene where he saves Casca from that noble, I don't think he stops him because he's, you know, a man about to rape somebody. I think he stops him because it's a noble about to rape a peasant. And to him, that's unforgivable. Rather than just the act itself, which, again, like, it kind of... His moral compass is very strange.
It's very much directed against only people who are powerful. It's not consistent.
Yeah. So while Griffith is...
basically, Griffith is classist.
Well, yeah, I guess that's a way to put it. Well, he's getting tortured for a whole year, and they're just fucking him up in every possible way. Guts is out here on his grind, kind of starting his whole...
Yeah, his journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, he's out practicing, getting stronger, and this man's crazy. He has, like, he's living with a blacksmith who has a little girl with him, and she's, like, helping him train. She's, like, dumping a bunch of logs down a waterfall, and he's at the bottom of the waterfall and cutting them in half.
Hack the logs, like, what a
he's
fucking
crazy, dude. Like, that I would not.
He's him. He's him.
And he's out and he's going to, like, arenas and showing off. He's not even part of them. He just shows up, beats their ass, and leaves without elaborating.
Yep.
And, you know, I think this is definitely the highest point of Guts' life overall. Because he's, like, completely unaware of the effect he had on Griffith. He is, like, kind of moved on. He's focusing more on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, he's living a rather peaceful life. Like, yeah, he goes out and fights all the time, but the life he's living with Gatto and Erica is very, like, at least for him, very mundane and very, like, honestly kind of healthy. So it's like his life did slightly improve a little bit by no longer being part of Griffith's dream. Not to say that his life was bad when he was with the Band of the Hawk.
Yeah.
And as this, it pretty much, the inciting event is that while he's out here doing his thing, he hears rumors.
Who's that?
Oh,
Salt. There you are.
Salt has joined us.
I'm knee surgering it right now.
Anyway, so
you need
you need to stop.
Hey, Pasta Man, have you started knee surgery farming?
Okay, so anyway, so he hears basically that the Band of the Hawk is run by Casca now, and that is like, oh, something's wrong there. There's something wrong with that image.
Yeah, like he's like, hey, wait,
a woman in charge can't have that.
Yeah,
no, it's not that. It's like he's like, why isn't Griffith running the Band of the Hawk? What the fuck is going on? So that's what leads him to return to them, and we kind of get a glimpse into how it's been for Casca and the others while Griffith has been gone.
Not good.
Getting his butthole reamed. And basically, it's interesting because it's like I said, the 97 series cuts out a lot of stuff. But some of the things they cut out, I get it, because it's like they weren't going to make a season 2, so there was no point. But the things that they replaced these things with felt oddly kind of boring.
And that's that. Yeah, like it was more advertising the manga than trying to make its own thing.
Yeah. So this is the point. Or go ahead.
Because you told me, okay, so like the part at the very end of your edit that you showed, you told me that was like the very first episode in the 90s anime, right?
Yeah, with the Snake Baron.
Right.
Which is only there to kind of establish the Berserk concept of this is about a man. He's been negatively affected by this man named Griffith, and he wants revenge. Demons are chasing
Yeah.
him, and it's a villain of the week series where he kills another demon every week. That's at least that's the
Yeah.
gimmick that it starts off as.
Yeah, it's a tone setter basically because there's so many differences of that arc from the manga.
Well, yeah, they completely skip over like the count and all of that shit. The
And my boy
skeleton
Puck
direction.
isn't here, bro.
Yeah,
How can
and
they
the
do this
reason
to
is
him?
because all of that plays a larger part in the narrative overall, and they're not making a season 2, so they're just gonna keep. But at the same time, it's like it creates unnecessary confusion. Because this part right here, basically, Casca is the commander. She's been losing sleep, and she's been planning to try and find out if Griffith is alive, and you can see it's having a negative effect on her. And Judo, big goat Judo, is out here supporting her emotionally, and just being a real Chad. Judo has always been, like, I think the most supportive character in Berserk.
The
And just
best bro that ever was.
the best wingman, the best bro, thinking about everybody but himself.
Only bro.
Bro,
in this
Judo.
series.
We love Judo in this.
I think, and I appreciate
I
that
wanna
he
kiss him.
didn't. Yeah, true. I appreciate that he didn't ever once make a move on Casca, because he pretty much knew that her heart was like pretty much belonged to some. It was elsewhere, and so he accepts that. I'm sure it hurts
Yeah.
at points, but
because
it's
he's a
like
bro.
he's very mature about it.
Yeah, he never lashes out against either Griffith or Guts.
No, he's rooting for them because he wants someone to make her happy. Pretty much, that's all he really cares about is he wants her to be happy.
What a Chad.
And so it's kind of tough seeing Casca like this because she is just worn down, and the Band of the Hawk is like a third of its size, and they're all outlaws. The Midland Army attacked them randomly; they didn't know why. It's like obviously it makes sense that with Casca being the strongest member left, she would step up to be the new leader of the Band of the Hawk, and the core central characters, Corcus, Rickert, Pippin, they would obviously stand behind that because it's Casca. And you can see that this has negatively affected almost everyone there. Corcus in particular is coping really hard. Because he's simultaneously being both realistic about it and very cynical, but also kind of lying to himself about it. And you can see it's had a big emotional effect on him. I like that he doesn't blame Guts. Like, he makes it very clear that Guts had nothing to do with this, even though he did. And that
Even though he did.
Griffith made this mistake himself. But at the same time, it's not like he doesn't despise Guts for leaving in the first place. Either way, they get attacked by my goat, my boy, Sealot. This is, I think, his debut, his introduction. If I'm remembering correctly.
I think so. He had swag, man.
He's not in the 97 anime, but he is in the movies, and he is raw.
He's
Yeah, bro.
he's actually playing a huge role in a lot of the newer chapters. And still he's still the GOAT. But at this point, I mean, his role here is minor. He's just basically a threat to give Guts, and he is the pedestal for which Guts can stand on in Aura Farm. Because he's only here for Guts to do the hero thing and save everybody last minute. He attacks Casca, and he proves himself to be pretty powerful. His fighting style is fucking awesome. I like the I don't even know what to call it. He's like throwing like rings, kind of like boomerangs, and he's got like these chain things that he whips around, and he's doing flips.
He's got doodads and doohickeys.
He's doing flips
he's
and kicks and shit.
doohickeys.
He had the most
Yeah,
like
he's
anime weapons like in this series. Like he's got those like floppy long like blades that are like string.
Yeah. And after Guts pretty much beats his ass until he retreats. The Band of the Hawk they have mixed feelings about seeing Guts show up like this.
Yeah.
From Casca's perspective, I imagine it's a little bit frustrating because it's like this man disappears, you beg him not to go, he leaves anyway. Griffith fucking does his thing, and now you're an outlaw. And then for a whole year, you don't hear anything from him. You don't get no contact, no nothing. And then he just shows up one day while you're getting your shit rocked by Kushins.
Yeah, as if nothing fucking happened.
He just rolls up. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're just like, "Oh."
Yeah, look, when there's no other way for you to, there's nothing else to be angry at. You kind of have to direct that at the next best thing.
Yes, they fuck. We know.
Gus
We know
didn't
they
really
fuck.
do anything wrong.
No, he didn't. But I can understand why it pissed Casca off a little bit.
Yeah, of course. It like the way that the Band of the Hawk feels is understandable, but like ultimately, Guts didn't really do anything wrong. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like it's not really fair to him, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's still like understandable. Because
Oh,
like he
you
had
wanted
no idea.
Oh, you wanted to follow your own path? How dare you? You should have been with us
How
forever.
fucking dare you?
Because
Because like
Yeah.
because I
And, like, the
remember because like Casca brings him up to speed, and at first Guts doesn't like believe her. He's like there's no way that you know Griffith
like
Griffith
you're talking about
would allow
Griffith
something
here. Like, are
that
you
to
kidding
happen.
me? Griffith.
Yeah,
crashing out
Griffith
over-
has too much ore to crash out.
Yeah.
And
But
the thing is,
the way she phrases it is that he made Griffith weak, which is such an unfair statement. But I understand where it comes from because it's like Griffith didn't used to be this way until Guts joined the Band of the Hawk.
yeah. And then Griffith just had to go and talk about people without dreams. He didn't see them on the same thing, on the same level as himself.
Berserk if Griffith just shut the fuck up and stopped trying to impress the Huzz.
Yeah, because that's the
And use
inciting
women.
incident for like why Guts wanted to leave in the first place. The way he thought Griffith didn't actually see him as a friend.
Oh, what did you say, Salt?
Berserk if Griffith didn't just use women as property or something.
That's also true.
There's that meme of like the big
Berserk
book and then the
if they
tiny
just
book.
Yeah.
Like the
Berserk
big
if they
the
just
big
had
book
gay
is
sex like the author intended.
like the big book is Berserk as it is, and then the very tiny book is Berserk if Griffith had his shit together.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So this leads to basically Casca.
No, Griffith did have his shit together, but Guts made
No,
him
not
weak,
not when
don't you
Guts
know?
left.
Not internally.
Yeah, Guts made him weak, don't you know?
So
Don't
this
fucking
scene
fuck a woman and thought about a guy the entire time.
twice.
I
He
mean,
did that twice.
you could also replace that with Berserk if Guts didn't leave, because then like what, you know, that's it. Fine, he's happy.
True. But
It would have become a yaoi rom-com.
Berserk if it was
I think
good.
there is a bit of an irony to that though, because Guts left because he went on this journey of self-discovery because he felt like he was missing something, and only for him to like come back and realize that he had everything that he needed. He didn't need to leave. Like maybe that journey did help him, you know, discover himself in some way, but like he did, like it ultimately actually wasn't necessary. Like all he needed was the Band of the Hawk. He was happy, like he was complete.
Yeah, he was happy there. He was having some fun there, but because Griffith just had to run his mouth, Alpha and Guts just didn't understand well enough what he really wanted. Well, you know.
Misunderstanding arc. But so this
I don't know. I
this-
feel like it is kind of an important part of like Guts's like journey, like when he hears this from Griffith, because I feel like it's kind of a wake up call that, you know, his whole life he's been like living for someone else's approval, And, you know, he
Yeah,
hasn't
that,
really
like
ever
his
thought to
childhood with
himself.
Gambino,
Yeah.
for example.
Because, you know, that's not even a wrong observation to make. Because, like, yeah,
So
True.
Guts has just been going through the motions his entire life, even and especially if that's at the behest of someone else. Like, and then one day he's like, "What the hell am I doing?"
I think it's very interesting, kind of how Gambino is nothing like Griffith. Griffith was a man that looked to the future, and Gambino was a man stuck in the past. But Gambino kind of sets the scene, kind of creates the building blocks for the relationship between Griffith and Guts. Because he's the one that instills that survivor's mindset, but also he's the reason that Guts is so starved for approval in the first place. And it's kind of interesting how Gambino really does have an effect on the larger narrative, even though he dies the same, like a couple chapters after he's introduced. Like, just a small character like that can leave such a large impact on the whole series. And can have so much depth to them. But, what was I gonna say? So, this is, of course, the part where Casca and Guts fight, and then fuck. Which...
Fighting and fucking.
It's like, are we fighting or are we fucking? I'm getting naked either way. So, this scene is, I think... It's a little, like... I read this with Pasta Man, and it was a little awkward, because it just kept going and going for several chapters.
Does it actually go on for multiple chapters, or are you
Yes,
just fucking
I
with
am
me?
not fucking with you. It does go on for, like, at least 5 chapters. I think maybe more than that, but, like, it goes on for multiple chapters.
It was most definitely plural.
But it's a very in-depth and very intimate scene. Essentially, it starts off with Casca airing out her grievances with Guts and taking her frustration out on Guts. And expressing everything that... all of the built-up, just anger over the past year from him leaving her, because, in a way, Casca is very similar to Guts in that she craves approval. Casca wants to be loved. She wants to be seen. She puts in all of this hard work. She has to put in twice as much work as any man to get, like, half the respect. And now she's, like... it got even worse because she has to take Griffith's place and be the leader of the Band of the Hawk and try to keep her head on straight. And already, as a woman, like, life's already unfair, but it just got a whole lot more unfair because she has to take a man's place as the leader of the Band of the Hawk when they're at their lowest point.
A man's world, baby.
Yeah, and so... and also on top of that, it's like she finally started to like Guts. And she didn't realize... she was starting to kind of question her feelings because she realized that she didn't want him to leave. And I think over this past year, she's also realized, like, well, Griffith left me, and now Guts has left me. So she's she's in a very, like, vulnerable state. And she just has, like, a crash out. She, like, hurts Guts, and he's, like, bleeding because of her, and so she starts beating herself up over that. So she tries to kill herself, and he saves her, and so she's, like, basically realizing that she is a handful. And then that is ultimately what leads to the several chapters of penis and vagina.
I seriously hope you're fucking with me, bro.
I'm not. I genuinely not.
I have read Berserk.
And there's a reason why it's so detailed and intimate. I think the biggest reason is because, I mean, Casca and Guts have been a very well-written dynamic up until this point, and this is that moment of... because it's kind of just done this... they've grown closer, and obviously by this point people will ship them, because of the chemistry is really good.
Yeah.
So this is the moment the characters themselves finally realize how they feel. So it's supposed to be a big moment, and you know how Miura is. If it's a big moment, he's going to go all out. He does that with every big moment in Berserk. And this is no exception. Yeah. And so it's very detailed.
Yeah, well, something certainly big.
Shut up.
I mean,
Not,
I mean,
not Guts'
not to
penis.
sound
It's
like,
covered up with a shadow.
not to sound like a
Penis
total
shadow.
gooner, but like it's nice to see. It's so refreshing to see like a sexual relationship that is actually like healthy between in this series.
Yeah, in this
know,
series especially.
It's nice
especially
to
like
see
two
one that,
characters who have had traumatic experiences
It's-
with sex.
It's nice to see one between consenting adults.
Literally.
Very, very
Right.
rare.
It's nice to see a mature
I'm
romance.
berserking it.
Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Just in general, because romances in anime tend to be very hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna make a video about that at some point. But back to kind of the point at hand. I think like one of the things I appreciate about it is that like when they start, like keep in mind this is the first time. This is not the first time that I don't know how to phrase this. This is Guts' first time, but he has been taken advantage of when he was a kid, and that trauma still lingers. And there's like a moment in the manga that the anime totally leaves out, because as you know, the anime kind of skips over most of it, just like one frame of them kissing and then kind of an after some pillow talking. But in the manga, it's as they're starting, Guts kind of has a PTSD episode, and he almost hurts her. But he of course he stops himself. He doesn't end up hurting her. But he just kind of has like a temporary moment of trauma where he remembers what Donovan did to him when he was a little boy. And he then like kind of has a moment of shame where he's like, "Oh shit, did I ruin your first time?" And he's like, I think that's the first time he ever opens up about that to anybody. Like he tells her about it.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's still negatively affected by it, and then she just kind of like supportively hugs him. And so that was interesting to me because media doesn't really, handle male victims all that well. They don't handle, female victims well at all either, but they don't handle male victims.
Victims in
Yeah, but
general,
they
not
handle Guts,
getting
like, really
they're
well.
being treated well.
Yeah, but it's like for male victims, it's like even less talked about, I feel. And so
Sure.
it was just interesting. It was a breath of fresh air, but it was also interesting because it was like, it's very sad. But it also shows how healthy their relationship is and how supportive she is to him. And it also shows you that even like a big tough man like Guts can have moments where he's vulnerable. I think. I don't have much else to say about the very long sex scene. It's a sex scene. I love
when
Casca
mom
and
and dad
Guts.
love
Certainly
each
is.
other very much.
They play bingo.
True.
Yeah. Either way, this moment is like Casca realizes that she doesn't. When you think of like her dynamic with Griffith, it felt a lot like infatuation. Like she was putting him up on a pedestal. He was just so out of reach. He never looked her direction. But then when she's with Guts, it's very natural.
Yeah, because like, yeah, and I don't think we need to bring up again how Griffith told Casca that one time to go warm up your Guts like a woman should.
Well, that's just sort of
Yeah.
reinforces that Griffith uses his soldiers like tools.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at them beyond that. They are his weapons. Which she had resigned herself to be his weapon, because being anything for Griffith was
Because he's him, bro.
an honor to her. But
to your point, I feel like whenever she's around Griffith, it does feel like she's trying too hard. Like
Yeah.
she's not just, she can't just be comfortable around him.
Yeah, well, I mean,
as
and I
opposed
think
to
that's
when
the
she was-
I think that's the difference between a crush and romantic feelings. in general, which is pretty relatable. It's like, you know, if you really like someone, but you're just always like trying too hard to impress them, that's not really gonna lead to a particularly healthy relationship.
Right.
You need something more natural, somebody that you can be yourself around. And Casca
Yeah,
can
that
do that
other-
with Guts.
You know what we call this in modern times? Parasocial.
True. But but
True.
where this leads is that Guts unfortunately reveals, even though they just fucked and like now he loves her, he reveals, I'm still going to go find myself because I wasn't kidding. Like I'm still doing that shit. I'm not gonna be caught up in someone else's dream. And I think that's also reinforced by his trauma from his childhood. It's like because Griffith gave him that wake up call, and then he remembers Gambino, and so that sort of drives it home. Where he's just like, I'm tired of fighting for other people's dreams. I want to be my own man.
Look, Guts, I appreciate you want to be your own man, but also read the fucking room.
Yeah, well, that pisses her
Damn,
off a little
dude,
bit.
Be there for your girl, man.
Yeah.
That pisses
Yeah, 'cause,
her off
like-
a little bit, and then or go ahead.
I fucking love the Golden Age arc specifically because of like complicated inter-character relationships like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Guts, Griffith.
because really no
Griffith,
one's in the
Casca.
wrong except Griffith.
Guts, Griffith,
Yeah.
Griffith, Casca, Judo, Guts, Judo, Casca, even Corcus and Guts, and their dynamic has a lot of complexity behind it when you read between the lines. It's all very thorough and in-depth. But anyway, Casca gets mad at him for this, so he kind of hits her with the Riz and tells her to come with him. Like, help me chase my dream. Like, we can, like, all I know, like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life, but I do know that, like, you're part of it now. And so that's a very nice moment. Also, Casca, I think, is pregnant with his child now. So,
What?
I must have forgotten that part.
yeah, she well, my edit didn't really show it, but we'll talk about that after the eclipse. But yes, after this moment, Casca is now pregnant with Guts' son, son. Either way, they return back to the... It's kind of funny if you think about this from, like, Pippin and Judo's perspective, because they have a little part where they're, like, snickering. Casca and Guts are, like, they're kind of moody. Like, Casca's all moody, and then she takes Guts somewhere to confront him about something. They're gone for a little bit. They come back, and all of a sudden, they're all lifting each other up and being all supportive and shit. And you're just like, yeah, I know what the fuck just happened.
I gotta wonder, does the brand of sacrifice transfer to your offspring?
I'm gonna go into that after the eclipse.
Wait, there's actually an
Okay.
answer for that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I don't know. It's flimsy. I don't think it does. To be honest.
I mean, that would be weird. Why would it transfer?
No, it doesn't because of the Count's daughter. Right? No, he had.
True.
Didn't he have his daughter before? I don't know. I really don't know, but as far as I can tell, everyone who is branded that has a child, their child isn't affected by it, so don't know. Overall. We'll put we'll put a pin in that one. But so in the manga, the Guts is at one point approached by the Skull Knight, and this is when he's on his year-long voyage, I think, or it might have been the moment where he found out that the Band of the Hawks run by Casca. I don't know, but he's just randomly approached by Skull Knight, who comes in and says, and kind of just does the same thing Zod did, and says like, "Hey, your time's ticking, and you're gonna have a bad time real soon." Little
Could he not have like waited for like a couple minutes? Like, damn, bro. Like they're sitting here naked. Like you could.
Well, that's in the movie.
Like,
he
was
didn't.
he watching
You
in the
could've come back
manga,
later.
in the movie, that's in the movie. It's not in the manga. He approaches him fully clothed in the manga while he's just chilling at
buddy.
a campfire. In the movie,
Hey, buddy.
it's like right after they fuck, and it's like my headcanon is that the Skull Knight was watching them fuck, waited till they were done, then approached him like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey,
Hey,
Guts.
buddy, your shit's gonna get
God.
rocked soon.
Hey, Guts. Nice.
He like approaches guys, he's like, "Nice," up top, and he gives him a high five.
Gives him a thumbs up.
Nice talking to you while you're at it.
Oh my god. But yeah, in the manga, he just approached him while he was alone camping in the woods. But
Can I just say that like one of the funniest fucking YouTube comments I've ever seen was like someone saying in reference to the scene of them having sex is my boy Guts dipping in the chocolate.
oh my god.
Oh my
Wow!
You know what's wild is the 2016 and 2017 anime whitewashed Casca.
We're
Okay,
gonna
so
kill
the
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the '97 anime made her black. Okay, but then like the movies made her kind of like. White
She's still
and
black. She's still black, but her skin's a little bit lighter. And then in the 2016 and 2017, that bitch is white.
But I don't care what this baby's name is. This baby is rice-skinned, but not light-skinned. That is a white child. That is Caucasian from the mountains of Caucasus. That is a Slavic baby, a Viking from Iceland. That's a good... That baby got 730 as a credit rating right now as an infant.
Like,
You can't even argue it's the fucking lighting, bro.
it's kind of
probably
what
gonna
they
be
did
talking about,
to...
like, essential oils or some shit.
It's kind of what they did to Rose from Full Metal.
What?
Oh yeah, compared from the 2003 compared to Brotherhood. Yeah, for some weird reason, Brotherhood her skin's a lot lighter. What the fuck? So weird.
Pants racist.
It's like Japan is getting more racist.
Yeah, from what I
It's the Joe
understand,
Biden.
I mean,
Powers.
look, with characters
yeah.
like Jinx from Pokemon and Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball, we all know, like...
It's
like from
not
what I
great.
understand, skin color the way skin color is viewed in Asian culture is not entirely the same as the way it's viewed in the West nowadays.
Well, there's
So-
not a lot of black people in Asian countries. There are black people there, but there's not a lot. So,
Anyway.
this kind of leads to the moment where this whole stretch is like, in the manga, it goes on for almost a little too long, in my opinion. From the moment that they begin the plan to go rescue Griffith, leading all the way to the moment where they finally can settle down and rescue Griffith. The manga really, really stretches this out. And it's kind of my least favorite point in the Golden Age arc. Not the moment where they rescue Griffith, but just the hullabaloo afterwards. Most of which was not adapted. But we'll start with them going in to rescue Griffith. Basically, Charlotte knows what they're doing to Griffith, and she gets in contact with the Band of the Hawk and helps them to pretty much break in, leads them to Griffith, and it is a very heavy moment. There's some cool lore as they're like heading down. They go into like a grave, they head through the tombs, then they go down to the cellar where the dungeon and the torture chambers are. And they're going down a staircase, and they start kind of shedding some light on this Skull Knight figure where they talk about King Geyseric and how he fought against either 4 or 5 angels. Obviously those angels being the God Hand, which we as readers have already met in the Black Swordsman arc.
Right.
And then somebody drops a lantern, and the lantern falls to the bottom of the tower, and there's a bunch of these like skeletons on the dungeon floor that have the brand of sacrifice carved into their foreheads. Which
I also kind of
Like
noticed something.
so many of them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I kind of noticed some like kind of classical architecture in that pit there. So my kind of guess is that somebody made a sacrifice to the god hand and kind of like set back the whole civilization to the medieval age.
So that's interesting. I
It kind of
disagree.
feels.
I I don't think those people actually had brands. I think that was self-inflicted. Because if they actually had brands, you wouldn't see their body. They would have been eaten. So I feel like it was some sort of cult that knew about the God Hand and maybe did that thinking they could summon them or something. That's my theory. I
I
don't.
was gonna say it has. I was gonna say it has some very Full Metal Alchemist vibes to it. This moment,
Yeah.
you know, the whole like Roman civilization gets absolutely torched.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the lore of Berserk. It's very it raises more
Yeah, I do
questions than
too.
answers though. But it's like so fascinating because it's kind of like, and I can see where Dark Souls gets their lore from, like their method of doing the lore from.
Yeah.
Because it's just so there's so many little details that are just thrown in, and it's just like so many questions have been left unanswered, and now with Mira having passed away, some of those may not get answered with the direction that Studio Gaga's taking Berserk at the moment. But just I don't know. It's just really interesting.
Skulls are cool.
So true.
True.
So true.
True.
Truth nuke.
True. Truth nuke. Truth nuke.
What is this
I
from?
do think Miura does have a little bit of their style of like not necessarily telling you everything, but just kind of like leaving readers to like put the pieces together.
Well, what I was asking though, Daniel, is what do you think? Like, were those actually branded people at the bottom of the torture thing in the Kingdom of Midland, or were those like a cult?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember this specific part very well, so I don't have any.
Just a bunch of
insight.
bodies at the like where Griffith is being tortured. Is just a bunch of skeletons with brands in their foreheads.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably a death cult because we saw like the brain on just like several random parts of the body in the Eclipse. So I just think
Yeah, and for them it was
some-
all in the forehead. They all had
Yeah.
like brands on their forehead.
and maybe
See,
a sacrifice happened and the Berserk's Rome civilization just fell because of it.
So I don't think that is
Do you
the
think they even
brand though,
summoned
because the
them
brand
anyway?
doesn't necessarily happen on your forehead.
no.
Like Guts has it on his neck.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it'd
what
be
he was
re-
saying.
I think it'd be really funny if they did all that and it ended up not summoning the God Hand.
They go downstairs. They go to Griffith's cellar. They go in and they take a look at Griffith, and Jesus fucking Christ, he is. I mean, he's. I cannot imagine how awful this must have been for Griffith. Just being in the dark all the time, losing sense of time, losing sense of reality, and all you can think about is how much Guts fucked you over by leaving, and like you're being starved, being tortured. Pain is like a daily thing for you now, and you like he pretty much loses his fucking mind over the course of this year, and all of the darker parts of his personality that were just kind of subtle and would come in small little waves. That is all him now, which I think is
Eating a burger with no honey mustard.
shut up.
Fuck up.
Don't encourage him.
Okay, but there is kind of like one detail of his torture that I do find really haunting. So I don't know which video it was, but there's this really good video that explains like him just sitting down at that point is painful because he doesn't have like a lot of movement in like that past year, and he's constantly he's not really getting any physical activity, so he's just even like air on him is just painful.
Yeah, his physical
Yeah, like,
body
he's
is just
shriveled
constantly
up.
uncomfortable.
He's atrophied.
It's more gruesome in the manga.
It's horrible.
It's very gruesome in the fucking manga.
Like you don't see it, but like there's like you can see like tears of his flesh in the manga.
And so when he sees Guts, he is like, his eyes widen, like he's just like, oh my god, it's you. And
I'm going to kill you.
His first instinct is to reach for Guts' neck, but as you know, he's so physically weak he can't do anything to him. And Guts doesn't even comprehend what he's trying to do, so he like hugs him, and it's kind of an odd moment for Griffith, because on the one hand he hates Guts right now because he kind of blames him for everything that happened to him. But then on the other, Guts cries and hugs him and shows him empathy, and so it's like this weird feeling of, like, Griffith doesn't know what to make of it.
It's complicated.
So, the torturer, who is a fucking freak, closes the door and then, like, revels in how much he's destroyed Griffith and how in the movie, in the 90s series, it's a skinny man that he's just kind of just a regular torturer. In the movie, it's like a very deformed, short man, and he's a fucking freak. Like, he literally shows off Griffith's tongue and, like, licks it in front of them.
Did that happen in the I didn't even remember that. That's nasty.
If that didn't happen in the manga, the movies added that for no reason, and I just either way, it's funny. It's a funny moment because he's like, you won't be able to get through this door. It's 3 times as strong as a normal door. And Guts, without even letting him finish what he was saying, smashes the door down with his big-ass sword and kills him.
Giga Chad.
And then this leads to just a
Skip dialogue.
hype fucking moment of just Guts and crew all locking in, and he's taking on all these soldiers while he's on a staircase. And it's brutal, and it's gory, and it's awesome, and it's cool, and it's epic bacon sauce gamers. And
I like how he's like, this door is indestructible, you stupid idiot loser. And then he just gets immediately, like, killed through the door.
That's rough.
And plummets to the abyss.
It's like that scene
That's
from
rough,
That made me happy.
it's like that scene from American Gangster.
Shoot me in front of everybody? Huh? Come on.
Oh my god. That's rough. There's not much to say about this big breakout. There was a part where they're like talking about how, oh, this Guts guy, it's just one man. And then someone's like, well, he killed 100 people. And then he's like, oh, you know how stories get exaggerated. And then they die.
And then he kills them all.
But basically,
It's fucking job.
They take Griffith out of there. They get him on a carriage. They're being chased by Midland soldiers, and they are dedicated.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I'm gonna kill you now. I'm gonna sacrifice you.
Eating a burger with no honey mustard. Eating a burger with no honey
Shut
mustard.
up!
Was that
Chandler?
like a fork
Chandler?
or something?
Chandler, give me your kidneys.
That was the Berserk clang sound effect.
I'm sorry.
That's what it sounds like when Guts tears a man in half.
In this 2016 show, yeah.
And it's just like the TF2 pan noise. Wait, no, that one's actually funny though.
So pretty much for the next few chapters, it's just gonna be the King of Midland's upset, and he's like, oh, I need to keep torturing Griffith. A year of torture is not enough. Because he's just that fucking upset over what Griffith did. And also the king is not well. He has started to physically deteriorate and grow old.
How dare he fuck my daughter before I could?
Haha, Griffith, you are fucking my daughter.
I'm gonna make that move now.
No,
Oh my god.
no, you're not.
He's like, no, you're not.
Such thing.
I am. I am right
I'm gonna
now.
stop you right there.
No, doing it right now.
You know they got your mans.
Do it. Do it right now. Do it right now, bro.
You know
Do it.
they got your mans. They got your
We
mans
got
on
the
sex assault
podcast.
charges. Yeah, the one that you be hanging with.
He was your man.
And it was your mans. It was your boy.
You mean to tell me you didn't know? You don't feel any guilt? Like,
So he's so enraged that he's like, I'm going to send some Kushan mercenaries And so he does, and while they're in the sewer, it's like a big fight between a bunch of Kushin weird-looking motherfuckers. I think Daniel's the only one here that knows about them.
Do I?
It's kind of
Elaborate.
just the most forgettable part of the manga, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
They're heading out through the sewers, and there are just these Kushin warriors that there's nothing to them, no personality or nothing, no depth or nothing. They're just
there.
there.
I think I know who you're
And they're not
talking about,
even
dude.
and they're not even like fucking mercenary and they're not even fucking competent.
Like one of them
did stuff with fire, right?
Yeah, one of them had poison darts, and one of them's on the ceiling of the sewer hallway, and they got legs for days, and they're just holding themselves up on the ceiling in like a T-pose.
Wasn't one of them a girl? Am I remembering this?
I don't give a shit. Like, it was cool. It was cool seeing the Band of the Hawk work together to fight these guys, but they were dead really fast. They left zero impression. We already got an introduction to the Kushins with Sealot, and the Kushins are going to play like a huge role in the larger narrative of Berserk, especially in the post-Miura chapters. But it adds nothing, in my opinion. They're just kind of there.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just found something that my friend sent me, and I kind of hate it.
What?
Just wait.
Berserk if it was good.
All right.
Berserk if it was Italian.
Look at that stash.
He's got the Freddie Mercury, dude. Let's go.
So after they kill these no-name, useless
You piece of
dude.
fucking shit, bro.
So the fucking it's weird that like the Snake Baron was more memorable than any of these motherfuckers. Because like I'm bringing them up, and Daniel doesn't remember them.
Bro, I haven't read the manga in like a hot minute. Give me a break.
So after
Neither have I.
well, I mean, I think it's just a testament to how memorable they were, because I think that he is. I don't like him. You're not supposed to like him. I think he is a bit much, but he's more interesting than them. The next person that he calls to try and capture Griffith is Wild, the monkey apostle. And I don't know, like, I think this spot is just, it's a bit much. Which is somewhat, like, I love the Conviction arc, and the Conviction arc has the Lost Children. Even by those standards, I still feel like this is just a bit overly edgy. So basically Wild, I think, is the most evil character in all of Berserk. He's just like a completely irredeemable piece of shit.
I mean, that's saying something.
That is competition.
It's like he's the kind of bad where Zod kills him, and Zod is like a hero for it. So like,
Yeah.
it's like it shows you that apostles can be so brutally evil that even other apostles are like, all right, dude, you need to fucking chill. Like, but kind of my issue with it is I think a lot of my issue really is just with how, like, he rapes and pillages villages, and then he cuts the women's arms and legs off, puts them on a halberd, raises them up in the air like a fucking trophy.
Oh yeah, God, I remember that.
And it's just
That
like,
was
Jesus
much.
fucking Christ. Like, it's so much. And
I
I'm
think
used
that
to
was like the part where I really drew the line in terms of gore. Like, Jesus, man.
like, there's like a part where he's in his monkey form, and he's about to rape Casca with his gigantic
let's
monkey
stop right
penis.
there.
It was too big to be called a dick.
Gigantic monkey penis?
Well, he's a gorilla, and he was about to split her in half with that thing. I don't know. It's just it's a lot.
This is
Man,
this
I
is
don't
one of the
remember this at
reasons
all.
I have
You don't remember Wild at all?
No, dude. When I read the manga, it must have been like over 10 years ago. Like this part of the manga.
Yeah, I definitely think that was maybe the most unnecessarily like gruesome part of the story. Just one of the reasons why I have a bit of trouble recommending this series to people.
I mean, at the very least, I feel like with Berserk, it is a fucked up world. So
It's in
I
the
understand
medieval
feeling
time.
like, maybe this is a bit much, but like most of the time it still feels like it's in line with how like disturbing and awful the world of Midland is.
Yeah, most of the time. I mean,
In the-
the whole decapitated woman, that was another level entirely.
I think just with Wild in particular, I don't find him as interesting as other villains in the series. He's definitely threatening, and the fight with him and Guts is fucking crazy. He's here because Guts mistakenly thinks this is what Skull Knight and Zod were talking about. He thinks that this fight with Wild is the big event that they're referring to. Also in this moment, it's like a slight moment of like optimism for Griffith, where it's like that he sees them struggling against Wild, and there's a part of Griffith that's like slightly rooting for them. It's very subtle, but we also know that Griffith still has those deep-seated negative feelings that have mustered up over the past year. So this is like a moment that kind of challenges that, where they encounter a man so evil that even Griffith is starting to question sort of his own beliefs. And it's also kind of purposeful because it's he is the one that literally he picks Griffith up and shows everybody Griffith's fucked up body and says like, guys, this is your leader. Like, you guys are idiots if you think he's going to be able to pick up a sword again. Essentially, like, the way it plays out is that Guts fights him, Guts pushes himself to his limit and almost dies, and he thinks he kills him, but then he comes back and he comes back for round 2, but Zod comes in and kills Wild. And then Wild, when he's dead, let me pull it up.
Oh yeah, I remember. He goes to like super hell,
I need to make my friend stop
where
saying
he belongs.
cursed images.
When he dies, he turns into this, and then
What the hell?
and then like a portal opens up beneath him and just swallows him, kind of like what happened to the Count in the Black Swordsman arc. And so it's just kind of here, I guess, to reestablish apostles, how they work, what they're like, how awful they can be, because up until this point, like, the apostles were certainly evil, but the Snake Baron, the Count, are not nearly as evil as this one, so it's kind of showing you just how bad one can get. But to me, it's like, I don't miss it whenever I see it's not in any adaptations, because it's just a bit too over the line for me, and it feels a bit too excessive. Not even from a disturbing standpoint, just more from a like slightly annoying, like I get it already, kind of.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we see the fit, Mira.
we get it, Miura. The fucking medieval ages were fucked up.
Yeah, we get it, bro.
But overall, I think Wild was an interesting enough inclusion that it does merit like some purpose, as does everything that Miura includes in Berserk. I don't think anything in Berserk, no matter how awful it is without purpose. I think every single thing he puts in it has purpose. Even someone as goofy as Puck.
Yeah, I don't think Miura does anything thoughtlessly. And
Right.
even
Like,
if we...
it isn't gratuitous for the sake of it. It's just the world is that fucked up in Berserk.
Right. And even if you may disagree with like an artistic decision he made, like I think we can all agree that like he did do it for a reason, and again, even if you disagree, like he definitely did it for something that he felt like it needed to be there.
Yeah. So after they kill Wild, we get kind of a cool down moment. Casca takes care of Griffith, changes his bandages, and comes to the realization that Griffith cannot live. And so in this moment also, it's very awkward. Griffith kind of tries to force himself on her, but again, his body is so messed up that he can't. He's been seeing Guts and Casca being cute together, and so that enrages him, because it's like, both of these people put me on a pedestal before, and now that they have each other, they realize they don't need me, and that upsets him, like, severely. And so Casca then tells Guts, like, hey, I can't go with you, like we talked about. I can't help you chase your dream. Griffith is just beyond fucked up. I need to stay and take care of him. And upon hearing this, Griffith is like, he pictures a scenario of far in the future where Casca takes care of him. And she's like a trad wife. She's feeding him and all that. And he thinks about it, and he's just like, fuck that. And so he gets on the horse or the carriage, tries to take off, and chase after his dream. But then the carriage crashes and he flies into a lake. And this is officially like his biggest crash out, basically.
Oh boy, here it comes.
Yeah.
He even fails at killing himself.
Yeah, there's like a tree branch nearby, and he's like, well...
You kind of glossed over a little bit, but I want to go back to the moment where he tried to, like, force himself on Casca.
Yeah.
Because I think that moment's interesting because, like, I think Casca realizes what he's doing, and she takes pity on him. But I think we need to think about, like, why Griffith did that, because I don't think he did it because he wants any sort of sexual gratification. I think he was fully aware of how Casca felt about him, and he felt like he could probably still exert that sort of control over her. Like, he felt like the nature of their relationship hadn't changed yet, and he was testing that, only to realize that no, he isn't the same person anymore, and neither is she. She doesn't see him in that way anymore. And
we can't just just touch anymore, Casca. I'm angry about that.
Right. And rather than, even being upset with him, she's just pitying him that he would even like try to do something like that. And that is even more mortifying to him. The fact that anyone would pity him, not even just Casca, just the fact that someone would pity him, I think was such, like, for him, just a moment that he just couldn't reconcile with.
Yeah. Can you hear me out on something? I have kind of a theory.
Yeah.
What?
I feel like Guts kind of changes Griffith's like perception of Casca, because at first, he talked about how he does seem kind of cold or indifferent towards Casca, but then like as the series goes on, like he's actually kind of concerned about Casca when she like when she and Guts fall into the river. And then there's, that moment where he's envisioning, like life with her, and they have like a kid or something. He just inserted that one himself,
Yeah.
So I feel like the relationship becomes like different.
It's interesting you say that, because after all of this, his view on Casca does change even more. And that plays into something that actually happened in one of the newer chapters as well. But I won't spoil. for people who haven't read the manga. So, I mean, basically, in this moment, he tries to take his own life with a tree branch, and he just can't do it. He scratches the side of his neck. He can't bring himself to...
Imagine being so pathetic you can't even do the thing.
I don't have to imagine.
Yeah, it's awful.
So this is...
And even unalive himself.
So this is the lowest point, I would say. The exact moment, the exact bottom of his life. He's lost everything, and he's just now realized it. And after all of this stewing in his pity in the torture chamber, and now seeing Gut and losing everything, losing his body, losing his ability to speak, all he can do now is force out just laughter, like maniacal laughter, choked laughter. And that's when the Bailet comes back. It was taken off of his neck and thrown into the sewers a year ago. And only in this exact moment, it finally comes back to him.
At his lowest point.
And he picks it up, and Guts and Casca, who are worried for him, are chasing after him. Prior to this engagement, Rickert was off separate from them while they were on the mission, and Rickert's team got attacked by a series of monsters, who are also familiar faces. One of them is the Count, who we recognize from the Black Swordsman arc. Another one, we saw the Snake Baron walking through the woods, and we also see the villain of the next arc, or one of the villains of the next arc, Rosine, the fairy girl, the elf girl. Rickert's camp gets attacked. I guess Rickert gets out of there alive somehow. But
yeah, I don't understand. I don't fully understand. Like, where did they come from? Like,
I mean, they're in the world already. They know that the ceremony's going to start soon, so they're getting ready. And some of them are kind of helping themselves a little too early before they get branded.
They woke up early and ate their vegetables.
They woke up looking for the broccoli. So I don't know how Rickert got out of there. I don't know if Skull Knight maybe saved him, because the next time we see Rickert is during the eclipse, but he's outside of it and he's watching Zod and Skull Knight fight each other. So I don't know how he got away from all that, but somehow he meets Gatto and Erica, and so Rickert's staying with them while this is going down. Basically, Griffith sees Guts running after him, and the world around them starts look like there's a bunch of monsters or like weird people just standing around in the horizon, and they're all looking around and they're just like, what the fuck? And like the eclipse is happening. A solar eclipse forms up in the sky as Guts is running towards Griffith, and Griffith is telling him like, don't touch me. If you do, I can't. I'll never. And he doesn't finish the sentence, but I don't really know what he was trying to say there. Good talk.
It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. But either way.
The sentence he was trying to say was eating a burger with no honey
Shut the fuck up. I hate you.
It's not funny.
You're not funny.
He was
Sounds
gonna,
like
he
you're
was-
laughing at me.
You say he's not funny, yet you laugh. Very curious.
I did not
You
laugh.
hate capitalism, yet you participate in it.
I'm very enlightened.
I'm
What
very
if text 1 million dead?
You don't want to be consumed by demons, but you joined the Black Hawk.
Fucking
Or the White Hawk.
Sir, the Black Swordsman is on the loose again. What? Send 10 million gold to Midland right now.
So true.
Joke doesn't really work in this context. Anyway, here's what's happening in
Dude, this part
Midland.
is crazy.
Here's what's happening in Midland, a thread. So, basically, as soon as Guts touches his shoulder, the Bailet fucking forms into... It goes from a Picasso face to a normal face, and then it screams, and then faces, crying, weeping faces just appear everywhere, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, for those listening, you've seen this scene before. You have seen it.
It did become a meme, actually. So you've probably seen the Beylit like forming, and or you've seen the image of Guts crying, which is like become the image that people use for any like difficult scenario. Like earlier, Daniel said that he didn't get any mac and cheese with his KFC. And Pasta Man posted the fucking Guts cry.
Oh, I gotta say, it's a really interesting choice for Miura to homage the Red Wedding.
True.
In Crimson?
So I think every apostle has a different. Whenever the Beylit forms, it does some weird, freaky shit to the environment around them. It creates like a tornado, basically. For the Count, it was a series of staircases that all went into random directions over a sea of tortured souls. And to that, I think my interpretation was how frenzied his identity became when he was an apostle, and how chaotic it became, because there's that dissonance between his dictator self and the part of him that loves his daughter, and how fractured it is. So that's what all the staircases were meant to convey. With Griffith, it's just weeping faces everywhere, terrified weeping faces. And I don't know if that has to do with the image of him standing on a pile of corpses and all of the people that have had to die in the name of his dream, or
I feel like that makes sense, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has like a different interpretation.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's just
That
kinda how
that makes sense. I'm gonna steal that
maybe-
interpretation.
Or maybe I just think that, like, since this is like the special event, like the really special event, this is just hell, and this is like every single soul that has ever lived. But
I mean,
I kind of agree with
they kind of have something like that with the deleted Ideal of Evil chapter.
It's
they
like
also
it's
have...
basically like the Super Bowl of hell, I'd have to imagine.
It's like it's literally the Super Bowl for apostles. They'll just roll up and be like, "Man, it's been 200 years. We're gonna eat good tonight." Like,
yeah, brother.
But it's interesting you say that, because like later on, Griffith's tears are symbolized by floating heads that are just like screaming in agony. Just blue floating heads. The Eclipse is, to say it mildly, the Eclipse is fucking horrifying.
Yeah, you could say that.
It is like,
it's like cosmic horror,
fucking...
like on another level.
I think it's like the scariest thing
Yeah.
I've witnessed in any media. I can't, like, it's hard to think. It literally feels like, I think the only thing that matches it is like Silent Hill 3 for me. Even then, it's like, it's just pure, everything is freaky as fuck. From the faces to like the design of the apostles that are everywhere, mind you. And it just feels so hopeless. Basically, a giant hand forms out of the ground, picks Griffith up. The God Hands show up. We recognize 4 of them from when we saw them in the Black Swordsman arc. And of course, we know now that Griffith is going to become the 5th one. Because if you saw the Black Swordsman arc, you already pretty much know where this is going to go. And why Guts wants to kill him so badly. But basically,
I think what really makes the Eclipse stand out in how like frightening it is because it feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
even if you see it coming from a mile away.
The visual spectacle.
Wait, but who could see that coming a mile away?
Well, I mean, we already know that Griffith is going to do something bad. We just don't know how. So it's like we know Griffith is going to.
We expect something bad as shit. Okay, we can see something bad is going to happen. No one would have expected fucking hell. Like this is literally hell. Like
literally hell.
It bears a striking resemblance. It reminds me a lot of 2 other things I've seen, that being the end of Evangelion and the end of Devilman. I think both it and Evangelion were, like, the end of Evangelion, were inspired by the end of Devilman. Because
Yes,
it
I'm pretty sure.
literally, like, it's so crazy. Like, the part where, what's her name? Slan, like, rises up from the ground looks a lot like that part in Evangelion with the giant angel picking up the ball and, like, rising up above the earth. End of Evangelion is, like, the only thing I can think of that is, like, as visually terrifying.
Yeah, it's so horrifying because it's like this endless landscape that like you see like that they're stuck in, and there's like no it's like there's no like edge to the world in sight,
It's
and there's nothing else there except them.
you can't escape it. Like, on the outside it looks like a tornado, but when you're inside it, you are stuck in an endless void. You cannot leave.
Yeah, it's very like if they really like feel like so
Unless Sans
small
Undertale
and
likes you.
helpless.
So, another thing it kind of reminds me of is, I don't remember which Yoko Taro game it was, but the one with the floating babies. Yeah.
What?
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
This is just like domain expansion.
Shut the fuck up. It kind of is. I made that joke where I was like, Guts, out of the tens of thousands of soldiers and the hundreds of thousands of enemies, you were the only one that obscured the vision of my dream. Domain expansion.
That's a banger.
So, basically, like, the apostles begin eating everyone. Everybody's freaking out. Casca's trying to keep everybody calm. Guts is with Griffith. He's up at the he when the hand rises up, he like falls and he stabs a knife into the wrist part of the hand and tries to stop his fall. So then he starts climbing his way up. And Casca and the others are all just like terrified beyond belief because it's like, what the fuck? This just came out of nowhere. Griffith then has a conversation with the God Hand, very similar to the conversation that the Count had with the God Hand at the end of the Black Swordsman arc, where they basically tell him, hey, like, they give him like a little flashback of the kid that died that left him so emotionally distraught, and we see Kid Griffith running through the village and realizing that, oh shit, a lot of people have had to die for my dream. And then they show him, like, if you want to reach that castle up in the sky, the bodies need to pile up, brother. Like, these are rookie numbers. Like, you need to get those numbers up.
Can Griffith lock the fuck in?
I think the funniest thing about the God Hand is if you accept our offer, we will give you immense power, but we're just gonna fucking kill you because you wasted our time.
Yeah, that was so funny with the Count, was just like, the Count kept hesitating. He's like, I don't want to kill my daughter. Why would I kill my daughter? And so they're just like, all right, okay, it was a long trip coming here, okay, and you're just gonna sit here and tell me no, fuck you, you're going to hell. And so they send him.
No honey mustard.
Shut up!
Anyway, I'm not gonna warrant that with a response.
God.
So Griffith basically comes, like, they're just like, hey, so like if you just kill the Band of the Hawk, you'll achieve your dream and you'll become one of us. You'll be a God Hand member. You'll get a cool hat. And you'll get
cookies.
We got medical insurance, we got like health insurance,
Puppies,
free dental, we'll give you a car.
Cat videos.
Hey bro, the God Hands are pretty chill.
Yeah.
Like, join it or something.
And the God Hand's design is just so fucking cool. Like, you got Slan.
They're on that fucking like what was it? Hellraiser shit.
Slan, which what did you say about Slan, Daniel, that one time? Dan?
Whoa. I don't remember.
It was like pussy from a girl that's evil or something.
Yeah.
That's real.
Slan is
Yeah.
She looks like a Darkstalkers character, kinda. Like a succubus.
she does have
And she got
There,
some.
there's the meme of like there's a guy who's like at a desert and there's a sign pointing towards water that's like really close by, but then there's another sign pointing towards like much farther away, but it's a pussy from a girl that's evil.
Yeah, that's
He's
real. He was
going
real for
there.
that.
Yeah.
He was real
Real.
for that.
But seriously though, that scene with like Griffith like as a child, and he's like seeing the castle in the distance. I think that was like the best scene in the series for me so far, because I feel like it's such like a climax for him as a character. Like he's like coming to terms with what he's been doing this whole time and like who he is.
Yeah. And I mean,
And
kind of going back to the God Hand, like there's so much mystery around them, but Griffith doesn't question it. He's just like, yeah, I'll just do my thing. But you got like, fucking one of them's like wears shades and he's really small, and then the other one looks like Patrick Star and sounds like Patrick Star. He's just got his mouth constantly open because he's a freaky God Hand. And those two, no lore, there's no expansion on them has been given since. There's nothing about them. We don't know their story or anything. There's a little bit about Slan. There's a little bit about who seems like the leader, the Void, who has honestly the coolest design in all of the God Hand, in my opinion, because he's like he looks like Angstrom Levy. Whereas, like, he's got his brain outside of his head, and he's like a skull face, and just, he's dripped the fuck out. That motherfucker, he's like the Megamind meme of, like, presentation! Yeah, he does kind of look like that.
I also love that his arms are just freakishly long. It makes him even look creepier.
The meme of him, like, pointing towards the Eclipse.
He looks less like a demon and more like a fucking alien, bro.
He does, yeah.
So, basically, once they show Griffith, like, that killing your friends is cool, actually, and you'll get a cool hat, and they are all gonna die for your dream. This pisses Guts off. Guts is like, it's so funny how Guts sees these otherworldly gods that are just, like, beyond comprehension. And his first instinct is to argue with them, where he's like, fuck you, Griffith would never do such a thing. And so basically in this moment, he comes up, Griffith turns around, sees Guts, and Griffith has this moment of clarity of like, he says that line we quoted. He's like, you were the only one that obscured the vision of my dream. I sacrifice. And so it's kind of that moment of like the fucking friends on the other side where it's like bum 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 bum
Bum, bum, bum.
and the hand closes and Guts can't get in, and then the Void creates the brands, and they all hit everybody in different spots, and I don't have much of an interpretation for it, but I feel like where the brand goes kind of has a different meaning for each character. In the case of Guts, it's on the back of his neck, which I think is similar to his go for the throat fighting style. In the case of Casca, it's on her chest, which I think has to do with her desiring love. But I'm not sure if there's much depth beyond that. The members
I think the brand being on the back of Guts's neck could also be. It might have something to do with him wanting to put things behind him.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically,
I want to say I feel like this moment is so powerful for like for Griffith, because I feel like up until this point you've seen like little bits of like humanity shine through Griffith. You know, there's those little moments of guilt that he feels. And I feel like this moment when he's like confronting, you know, all the bodies that he's created, you know, all the people he's sacrificed. I feel like he comes to terms with like who he is and like he literally, you know, throws away that last little bit of humanity in order to become part of the God Hand.
I
And he does
reject my
that by
humanity,
sacrificing
Guts.
all his friends.
I reject
No.
my humanity. So yeah, basically, just the Band of the Hawk dies. And it is just misery, chapter after chapter. They all go out in horrible fucking ways. Pippin does a last stand against a bunch of apostles, and they pummel him into nothing, and then later puppeteer his body to lure other members nearby so they get eaten. And the Count...
Yeah, they didn't show all that in the anime, but it was like that was.
The Count literally rips him in half. And then like the one guy, I forget his name, but he's voiced by Goku in the 97 anime. Yeah, he gets a parasite in his head and it just pops out of his head, blows his head. It's kind of like Alien almost. Corcus had one of the better deaths, at least. He's like running away from apostles, and he's just sitting here thinking like, oh, this is all just a bad dream. I'm gonna wake up and it's just gonna be a dream. And then just randomly he sees a naked woman who also happens to be the woman that Guts has sex with at the very first scene in Berserk.
Oh,
manga.
that,
I think I got
that
retconned.
demon?
You think they got retconned?
I'm pretty sure that was retconned.
Oh.
Because
Really?
when Miura like drew that very first like couple of pages of Guts having sex with the demon, I think Miura in retrospect realized that Guts wouldn't do that, especially out of respect for like the fact that this is the demon that killed Corcus. So I think Miura retrospectively was like, yeah, nah, this didn't happen.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
still
neither did
in the physical volumes I have, but
I mean, it wasn't. I don't. It wasn't removed. Just that it's not considered canon anymore.
yeah. Well, either way, like it was an interesting little full circle choice, though. That it was like the implied to be the demon that Guts kills in the very first chapter is the one that kills Corcus. It like I think the way that the manga and anime handle it is subtle. It basically like he walks up to her and like nuzzles her, and then she turns into a demon, and it just cuts away. But in the movies, I don't like the movie's rendition of the Eclipse. I don't like the purple. I don't like just how weird it looks. And in this part, I laughed because it shows the demon picking him up and eating him. And it looks so jarringly bad. So I'm not real fond of the movie's rendition of this Eclipse. But either way,
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, in the manga and in the anime, it just shows him being hugged, and then it just kind of leaves it to your imagination after that.
you know what happened. Like, we don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Makes it
Yummer.
more
Yeah.
terrifying and actually more, I feel, impactful. Like, it's such a just gut-wrenching send-off to Corcus and a horrifying send-off to Corcus. Because it's like he thought he had escaped from all of this, and then, nope, reality comes right back to slap you in
If
the
you
face.
think about it,
Take
though,
your sensitive ass back to take your sensitive ass back to Midland.
if you think about it, though, it is kind of fitting because he kind of died as he lived.
Chasing that pussy.
He was real for that.
Chasing the huzz.
Maybe Guts killed that demon first because Corcus was his biggest homie.
I don't know, but basically,
I don't know about biggest homie.
uh,
You're hating on the
Also,
Corcus?
so
You hate on the boy?
Judo is with Casca, and they're running away on horseback, and Judo's trying his best to get her out of here because he's like, okay, Griffith turned on us, and we don't know what the fuck's going on, but all I know is you need to live because you're the commander now. So like, command.
More of that responsibility being placed on the Casca she's not prepared for.
Yeah, but it's also like he kind of sees her as the last beacon of hope. And then he gets like whipped by this one apostle and like stabbed through the chest, and he kills it, but he's now bleeding out. And in this moment, he basically realizes he was all talk, and all the tough guy talk he was trying to do of like, we're gonna get out of here, guaranteed, and we can't, if we're gonna die, it better be fighting. But now he's realizing like, nah, I think I might have overextended too much. I'm like bleeding out. I'm on the verge of dying. And so he kind of realizes like, oh shit, I never told Casca like how I feel. And so he tries, and all that really comes out is, you sure do cry a lot.
Bruh.
And like my
I thought you said you like to cry when you're alone or something like that.
There's different that's what he says in the 90s anime for sure. What I read in the manga, it said you sure do cry a lot. Either way, I think the reason he fixates on her crying is because he's trying to say that he sees her, because through all of this,
her.
Yeah, through all of this, she tries to put up this persona that she's strong and she's in charge and she knows what she's doing, but underneath all of that, she is very lonely and very like, just she has a lot to prove, and she's very sad. And he sees that. He's trying to tell her that he sees that, but he doesn't get enough time to get that out, so it just kind of
doesn't come out right. Yeah,
it doesn't come out right, and it's so fucking sad.
Yeah, he's like literally thinking to myself, he's thinking to himself, I'm so fucking lame. That's my final words, really?
He literally says
like,
to himself like, oh my god, I fucked that up bad, and he just dies. And
I know I fucked it up.
It's like, can I get a do-over? Can I get a revive, please? Give me a do-over real quick.
Just gets
to
eaten
be
alive.
honest, I kind of feel like, how we've kind of established that Corcus may have a little bit of a thing for Casca. I feel like in that final moment, or not Corcus, not
Judah.
Judah.
Yeah,
I'm sure Corcus has stared at her tits a couple times, but
he would do that. But anyway, I feel like Judo in like this moment, like I feel like he's thinking about like telling her how he really feels about her, but he can't bring himself to do it, and this is what comes out instead.
I think when you spend that much time not saying anything, it kind of becomes impossible.
Yeah.
So that kind of fucks Casca up, and she tries to keep fighting against the apostles, but they subdue her pretty quick. And in this moment, I mean, like Guts has been locking the fuck in. Like he everybody else is like getting eaten easily. Guts like rips off one of their horns, and he's killing apostles with this big ass horn.
He's him, bro. He's fucking Doom guy.
But then he falls down at the base of the God Hand, and then he just looks around, and oh my god, like everyone's dead. The one person he finds alive, their head explodes. And I think what's kind of sad is that he's one of the only ones that shouts out Corcus's name. Like, despite how shitty Corcus was to him, he still calls out for him. In the end, pretty much everybody's dead, except for Guts and Casca. And so he tries to save Casca because the apostles are about to like cut her in half.
Pippin.
No, I didn't. I already talked about Pippin.
Oh, I'm sorry. That might have been when I was gone. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Pippin's was horrifying. The way they puppeteer him around to like lure
Dude, he
Guts.
was fucking hollow in the inside in the manga. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
So like, just Guts and Casca are left, and he sees that the Apostles are trying to ravage Casca, so he tries to stop them, and then one of them bites his arm, and then, conveniently, they stop as Griffith comes down, now reborn. He was in a fetal position as he was being reborn into a god hand, and now he's finally femto, wearing a fucking freaky ass, like, bondage suit. Like,
They really named the new demon Femto.
that's fucking funny.
He really do be a femme.
So he, like, comes down, and the image of him in his new costume, and he's got, like, this serious, like, cruel look in his eyes, I can't take seriously, because it's, like, all I can think of when I see it is, like, Griffith has now become racist.
Wait, there was.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, don't spell S-E-X. Don't spell S-E-X. It's dark humor snowflakes. Look it up.
Guys, don't put an F behind the word art. Chill, snowflakes. It's called dark humor. So, yeah, Griffith becomes a gamer, and he comes down, and, well, basically,
Violates
Games.
Casca.
finishes the job that he started with Casca.
Yeah, let's not
Like a
mention
true
words here.
gamer, he starts playing with his joystick.
No. The 90s anime it censors it a little bit, like it just gets the full idea across of what's going on. The manga and the movies are much, much more detailed. You see all of it.
It just seems exploitive in the movies.
It's not an easy scene to watch because there's like points. Shut the fuck up. I can't. That picture of Griffith. That picture of Griffith. I hate saying this. It reminds me of the picture of Trump when he's in prison. When he's like arrested.
You know, I do see it.
No, that's
Same
exactly.
pose, same
That is
expression.
exactly what it looks like, bro.
Wow.
I made an edit of that where I put Trump in the fucking costume, in Griffith's costume for that. Either way. so
I can't
we're
fucking
laughing.
take this scene
Oh my
seriously
god,
anymore,
Oh, I hate how well done that is.
God, that's too accurate.
So, basically, we're laughing, and this is the part where Casca gets raped. He makes eye contact with Guts the whole time. And it's very clear he's not even doing this for gratification or even for Casca. He's just doing this to piss off Guts. There's another motivation behind it too, which is, as I established, Casca and Guts have a baby and she's pregnant with his baby. And so Griffith is going to kind of do this to taint that baby in order for him to have a vessel moving forward. But either way, it's just it's very fucking hard to watch because Casca, I think in this moment, she is very traumatized and has lost all touch with reality. So there's like moments where I have to choose my words carefully here because she did not enjoy it, but there are moments where it's like her face looks like she is, but it's just that she has no idea what the fuck is going on right now. It's like a very like confusing moment for her. Because like up until this point she loved Griffith. And now that he's like all of the she's in hell.
Violating her.
She's in hell, she just watched all her friends die, and now he's like violating her. Like it's a very emotionally confusing moment for her. And
Her
Because,
whole
like,
world,
because on some
throughout
level,
the
like,
entire
this was,
eclipse, her whole world has come down, basically.
because, like, you know, there was a time where this is what she wanted. Granted, not like in these circumstances, but she always pined for Griffith's love, and and she's gotten it in the worst possible fucking way conceivable.
yeah. And it's rough for Guts too, because he's literally like, he sees this happening and he tries to save her. He's like trying to stab into the apostle, his sword breaks, so then he starts using the broken sword to stab into his arm, and he literally cuts his arm off and starts running towards her, but then some others pin him to the ground and stab his eye. And so that's like the last thing his right eye will
Yeah, I think
ever
one of the
see.
like while they're holding him down, one of the claws digs into his eye.
Yeah, and that is the last thing he ever sees with that eye.
Oh my god! And I remember the scene in the movie that was
Yeah.
absolutely not necessary.
Oh yeah, you see
I don't know if I can mention.
you see
I don't know if I can mention it.
you see the results when he drops her on the ground. After he finishes and drops her on the ground, you see the results leaking out of her.
Oof.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
remember
God.
thinking like the entire time during
Did you
'cause,
cut that
like,
out, Gabe?
That was in the movies.
It was in the movies. I showed the 90s rendition.
Because
What
I
were they
remember
doing?
when I very first watched the 97 anime, and you see the first episode, and then it flashes back, right? So I knew, like, okay, something's going to happen to his eye and his arm at some point. And I remember when I was reaching towards the end, I was like, when, you know, what the fuck? When's he gonna, when are we gonna find out? And then, because, like, I think I suspected that it was two separate events. I didn't realize, oh wait, it all happened all at once.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking because it was so long ago. I think it was weird. I remembered the detail of the brand, so when they added the brands, I was like, oh shit! I was like the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV, or I'm like, oh, right there.
Yeah, because
But
yeah, you almost forget about that first episode when you're deep enough into it.
and I knew that things were gonna go awry for Guts. I just didn't really know much about Griffith. I forgot about the part where he references Griffith in the 90s anime. So I didn't.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, when I saw all this, I don't think I reacted to it super strongly, but I was just like, oh man, fuck Griffith.
I reacted to the whole thing very strongly. I remember.
I reacted more strongly on rewatch, but when I first saw it, I mean, it hurt my feelings. Like, it definitely, Judo got me, and I was mostly just pissed off at Griffith. Like, it was just, and so I think my reaction mainly, or what kind of like clouded my reaction, was just that the 90s anime literally ends with this, and then Guts screaming, and then it rolls to the credits. And I remember feeling like Zuko in that one scene of Avatar: The Last Airbender where he finishes reading the scroll, and then he's like, wait, that's it? And he's like closing and reopening it. He's like, what the why?
Dude, get
Yes.
this. I need you to hear me real quick. When I saw the 97 anime for the first time, I watched the whole thing with my dad.
What?
Yes. We watched it together. And when we got to that final episode, he and I felt like all of the air was sucked out of the room.
I actually showed all of the anime to my mom, and by the end, she was depressed. She was so
Dude.
mad.
Dude, like when we're watching these together, usually, we're like talking a little bit, we're cracking jokes every now and then. We were silent for like most of that entire episode.
Well, it's like, 'cause what the fuck do you even
Like-
say to that? Like, it's just pure misery for several hours.
Yeah, it's like, it's overwhelming.
And the
man.
Fallout is not in the 90s series, but it is in the movies. And it hits hard. Because it's like, after this, basically, Stop.
Bro.
Basically, it the way they get out of this is that Rickert sees Zod and Skull Knight fighting outside the Eclipse, and then Skull Knight like rides up the tornado somehow, and like breaks into the Eclipse itself through the eclipse part of the eclipse, the moon sun thing, and he shatters it, runs in, grabs Guts and Casca, and runs out. Which it's like, man, you could have showed up like any sooner, and it would have been so much better. But I understand he was preoccupied with Zod, so it's not entirely Skull Knight's fault. But it's like, man, you showed up at the worst possible time. And it's interesting because like you can see that there's some like sort of rivalry going on between him and Void, where he tries to attack Void, and Void creates a portal, and then the portal appears behind him, and he blocks his own sword with his shield. And then he's just like, alright, this is a waste of time. He just like runs past him, picks up Guts and Casca, and then Griffith tries to stop him by sucking him into some sort of weird blood ball thing. But it doesn't work. He misses him. And so he just runs out with Guts and Casca. And the God Hand disappears. And so he takes them to the cave where Gatto and Rickert and Erica are all staying. And again, I don't know how Rickert met Gatto or survived that attack on the camp, but basically he met Puck also, which is pretty cool. This is like the most emotionally heavy scene, I think, is just the fallout, because Guts has a nightmare where he sees the Band of the Hawk walking away, and they're like walking into the light, and he's begging them not to go, but they're not listening to him. They're all just heading into the light. And then he wakes up and realizes that Casca has lost her memories, and now she is mentally not there anymore. She's basically like been reduced to a child. And she's terrified of him, and he like sees this, and he's just like in emotional shambles. And it's a very hard scene to watch because he like runs out of the cave, and he's like remembering all the members of the Band of the Hawk as he's running, and we get flashbacks to like all the times he spent with them, and now they're all gone. We watch them all die in horrible ways. Somebody else say something, please.
What else? What can we
That's
say,
rough,
bro?
I
buddy.
don't know what to say, dog.
So I don't mean to drudge this up again, but like I just remembered something else that happened during when Casca was getting violated, and she when she realizes that Guts is there, it's so sad. She says, "Don't look at me."
Yeah. That, goddamn, like,
It's so sad.
I feel like
It's
this is
so
genuinely
sad.
just the most tragic, horrifying, fucked up thing. At least in terms of, I think what I appreciate about Berserk is like, you know, we've all seen stories of like, oh, a man who wants to get revenge, and then we've seen his backstory, and it is tragic. Like Thorfinn, or I'm trying to think of other like good revenge stories, like Kurapika, Sasuke. Like, we've seen this trope like a lot, but and every time their backstory is like effectively traumatic, because I mean that's how they get you to feel bad for the character. But
Oh my god.
god damn it. But I don't think any backstory god damn it. I don't think any backstory will ever get this emotionally heavy. And that's, I think, why Berserk is my favorite story of all time, is that it excels at emotion. Whenever it wants to convey an emotion, it goes above and beyond. Because Miura, this is Miura's baby, and the art is
He does not skimp out.
He does not skip out. He does not cut corners. And he doesn't do that with the narrative either. If he wants to make it heavy, he makes that shit heavy. And so basically now we learn that Guts, he has a brand, he's alive, but unfortunately he will be tormented by apostles for the rest of his life. And Skull Knight kind of gives him some guidance on, like, you are a struggler, so just keep struggling, it's what you do best. And there's a little bit that was not in the movies. Basically, there's a whole section about Casca's baby, and then there's a whole section about Guts finding the sword. But to tell you the truth, I would like to end on this note because we've been at this for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
We've
It's
been
like,
here a while.
you wanna see the rest of the story? Go read the manga, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it. It basically ends with him realizing the situation he's in, and then we just fade out. And then from there, obviously, it's the first episode of the 90s series where he gets the sword, and he goes and he kills the Snake Baron. But, I mean, I just don't even have words to give this a proper conclusion. Do we have any, like, closing thoughts?
I don't know what you could say.
Credits.
Well, actually, I do kind of like one thing. I love that, like, I love, like, the change between Griffith to Femto's designs. Like, Griffith, you can kind of get, like, this kind of, like, almost godly, like, angel-like appearance with, like, original Griffith, but Femto, oh, yikers, he looks like a straight-up demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he maintains like the hawk-like imagery with the helmet,
Yeah.
but he's a lot more like demonic. He doesn't look like as graceful as,
Just everything about
Old
this
Griffith.
is so well written, from seeing Guts turn from his optimistic self, who, wanted to find himself, turning into the bitter asshole in the Black Swordsman arc. And now you fully understand, because the things he does in the Black Swordsman arc are morally questionable and a little bit fucked up. But now, it's like, with this context, you totally get it. And you start to understand every decision he's made. And seeing how Casca just is so negatively affected by what happened to her that she can't bear it, and she just, I guess to protect herself, her brain just defaults to that of a toddler's, and now she is just completely broken. And Rickert, I feel really bad for, because he had no idea what was going on. He didn't see any of it.
Right. He managed to like be he was still in the camp or something. So he had no idea what was happening.
Rickert kind of gets survivor's guilt, and he's sort of left in the dark because Guts does not tell him what happened for a while. And so that's like, it's a very confusing moment for Rickert too, because all he knows is that Guts lost his arm and his eye, Casca lost her memories, the rest of the Band of the Hawk is just gone, and there's no sight of Griffith anywhere. He doesn't even know where Griffith went. So from his perspective, it's just like, something happened. He doesn't know what, but stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now.
It gets to a point.
God, what the fuck?
That is incredibly cursed.
This one's especially cursed. Look at the detail.
Holy crap, Guts.
That's gross. That's offensive to my eye.
Alright.
I'll delete it. I'll delete it.
Anyway, I guess I'll end on this note. The Golden Age arc is not my
The
favorite
note that we're gonna
arc.
kill Salt.
The Golden Age arc is not my favorite arc. But in terms of just, I don't think I have ever seen any anime or manga ever have something this emotionally impactful. And I think that's just what makes Berserk so hard to top, is how just dedicated it is, and how thorough and detailed it is, and how it can just terrify you in such a significant way. I mean, like I said, I think the only thing I could compare it to is like the end of Evangelion. In terms of just how it makes you. I'm trying to conclude the video. Can you stop?
I'm sorry.
In terms of how it just leaves a major impact on you, and I mean, if you weren't already if you weren't invested in Berserk by this point, you're probably not gonna like it moving forward. But if you were, then this just got you a whole lot more invested. Like,
So I'm going to say something that is a little controversial in that a lot of people consider the ending to the 97 anime to be like one of the worst anime endings because it feels so unsatisfying, because it's so like it just literally just stops, right? Like it barely even feels like an ending.
it feels like the beginning of the story just got established, and now we're like, it's a backstory arc, pretty much.
And I'm gonna push back on that. I actually think it's a fantastic ending in what it is supposed to do, which is to get you to read the manga.
True.
And I can say with certainty that it absolutely works in that specific goal, because I can think of a lot of anime that end like halfway through the story, like, and it's basically going like, yeah, go read the manga if you want more. And Berserk is literally like one of the only anime I can think of, I can probably count on one hand, that actually made me go, okay, no, I have to read the manga now.
I was the same.
I want to see that.
Picked up the
I
manga.
want to see this Batman looking fucker get his ass handed to him.
It's definitely a haunting like spot to like end it on, you know.
Yeah, and
It's evocative, like it ends in a way you don't expect because it doesn't really end. It just stops.
Well, thank you for watching this video, and also thank you for being here, Mr. Daniel Sans Toes.
Oh, please.
Oh,
What about
fuck.
me?
Mr.
Why did you have to say it like that, man?
Sans Toes?
That's
It's because Deltarune came out recently.
Yeah, that'll
So is
age
Sans
well.
a bad guy?
and
now,
confirmed that Sans did in fact befriend our mother last night.
I haven't played Undertale or Deltarune. No spoilers.
It's not that
But yeah,
bad
it was nice
spoiler,
having
though.
you for this. I intend to keep doing these on the rest of the Berserk series, but I'm gonna take a little break for the time being. Obviously,
Yeah.
next is the Conviction arc, which I'll get around to at some point.
But like, thank you for making me read this, bro. This was
a long
amazing.
time coming because you like a lot of things, like you like Doom and shit like that. So there's like you like a lot of things that this was totally up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give this a rating.
we're not rating.
Well, I'm gonna rate it anyway.
B.
From what I've read so far, it's like an A. I might give it an S later.
Fair enough.
Because like,
I give this go read it out of 10. Go fucking read it. Read it!
I give this a,
What are you doing? Why are you watching this video?
3
Stop
out of
watching
10.
this video. Read it!
put this at the start of the video.
Just read,
Stop watching Peak Fiction.
read the
Time.
fucking manga. Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording.